Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody! Wasn't that nice? Wasn't that nice? The fireworks over the castle? Love that ornament. And welcome to a Christmas edition of Monorail Monday. I know a lot of you have been wondering, when's Monorail Monday coming back? When's Monorail Monday coming back? Coming back for another season in January. And we're going to do a holiday special right now. Had a few folks ask about the holidays. We did a holiday edition, sort of talking about just working the holidays in general back in November, a couple weeks back. Now we're going to do a Christmas edition. It may touch a little bit more on the holidays as well as Christmas at Walt Disney World. So, without further ado, let's get underway. So what's it like working in monorails over the Christmas holidays? It's a lot like the other days, just a lot busier around Christmas time. As many of you probably know, Christmas to New Year's, busiest week at Walt Disney World. It was amazing. Nowadays, everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody's got a million information. People who just went 6 months ago are online posting blogger tips about how to attend Disney like a veteran. The information's super easy to get, but a lot of people did not realize. They would come and say, let's go Christmas, nobody's going to be there, not realizing how busy it gets during Christmas. Now, back in my time, there were certain periods of the year that were blocked out where you couldn't use your passes or you couldn't get other people in, and it tended to be, obviously Christmas is one of those times. And generally, I didn't want to be at the parks on Christmas. It was so busy, it's so swamped with people. I had zero interest in being at the parks during the Christmas holiday. I might dash in there for a second after work to get something or do something. I might walk through the park a little bit on the way to something else, but never really wanted to spend any time there. I was almost always working over Christmas when I was working at Disney. And so you work your 8, or in a lot of cases, especially toward the end when I was working 4 10-hour days, I work a 10-hour plus shift. It's been crazy busy. I don't want to go stand in a line of multiple hours with, 100,000 other people at the park. But it was pretty fun. People are in the holiday spirit, usually people wearing their Santa hats and things like that. So there is definitely fun to be had. I don't want to be bah humbug about it. One of the things I really want to talk about today is something a lot of people may not know about. We used to have a Walt Disney World cast Christmas party. Everybody's workplace kind of has a big Christmas party of some sort, big, small, or whatever it is. Maybe it's just at work, a little potluck. Maybe you all go to a restaurant. Maybe there's some catered thing at a banquet hall. We did a transportation monorail Christmas party, and that would usually be at some place. One year we did it at a bowling alley, and we all bowled a little bit and had some contests and music and things, that sort of thing. Just not unlike you would see at any average workplace. But what was really cool were these Walt Disney World, the resort-wide Christmas parties. And they took place at the Magic Kingdom in early December. Usually it would be on a weekend or a couple of consecutive nights one week, a couple of consecutive nights the following week. And they would be held after the park had closed for the night. Now, this is back at the time when there were slow times at Disney, and typically the Magic Kingdom would close at 6 o'clock at night. And for a pretty good chunk of December, especially early December, Magic Kingdom shut down at 6 o'clock. Epcot maybe shut down at 7 or 8. The parks were closing early. Everything was closed for the night. There just weren't that many people there. You could walk on most anything early in December. So what they would do is they would send out a little letter and says, here's the dates for the cast Christmas party. which dates do you want to declare yourself to attend. So you pick the dates. You could bring your family were able to come. So you usually try and work it out with friends. Hey, which nights do you guys going? So you get a group of people. Let's all go together. I'm gonna go with the family, go with friends, and we're gonna go hit the Magic Kingdom. So what were the parties like? It was a little bit kind of like a Mickey Very Merry Christmas party. There was the special Christmas parade. You could meet Santa. There was usually a place where you could get some free cookies, and there was usually a place where you could pick up an ornament. And there was always an ornament of some sort designated for the cast Christmas party. So you got your free ornament, and this is the only one I have from my time there. 1991 cast Christmas party with Donald on it. That was the last one. That was the year of the last real Walt Disney World Christmas party. And I'll tell you what happened very shortly. But the cast Christmas party, a little bit like Mickey's Very Merry, just not as busy, and just it's all completely cast members and cast members' family members. So it was really neat, and they dialed back the prices too. So like popcorn would be a quarter. You might get a turkey leg for $1. Sodas were like 50 cents. So the prices were super cheap, and you could get a whole bunch of food. All these places, everything was open. It was just like almost a normal day and night at Magic Kingdom. It wasn't just a couple things open. Everything was open, and the prices were dialed back. There was a certain relaxed atmosphere. There was a certain atmosphere just because it was all cast members. That was really cool. Everybody there worked there all the time. Everybody had a piece of the mouse magic going on. You don't have lost people. Everybody's been there. A lot of folks are there a long time. It's not uncommon to have 10, 20, 30 years at Disney for the folks who really stick around. So it was a very cool vibe, very cool atmosphere. Really neat to be able to hang out with your friends and maybe your family members on this night where it's just there's no guests. It's just other cast members there, and everybody's just kind of having a good time. So you like any other party night or something, you know there's no lines, very minimal lines for a lot of stuff, so you get to ride things over and over again, or sometimes you just want to hang out, watch the parade, just absorb the atmosphere. It was really cool. They didn't have the necessarily have all the rare characters that you see that a lot of people gravitate to at parties now, but the vibe was great. The lines were great, and it was a lot of fun. It was something everybody really looked forward to, and you got to pick your times. Now, that's when things turned sour. The last real cast Christmas party was 1991. 1992, they changed it. And it was basically, we're gonna give you a pass, and you and your family members, or your friends, your cast member friends, can enter any park of your choice, any of the 4 parks, and you can enjoy your day there. And then there would also be behind the scenes, this is during regular hours, and behind the scenes there would be like a pavilion set up, like at Epcot, I think it was behind Horizons. It was behind Horizons in like the VIP lounge. There was one set up for the studios. I don't remember where that one was. But whichever park you went into, you picked one park, you went into that park, that's where you got to spend your Christmas party, and you just did a regular day there. It was a huge change, and it was really disappointing because before you were going to Magic Kingdom, it was after hours, you're with your friends, it was all cast members only, it was a special night. Now basically the party is anytime during December, you can go and visit any park during normal operating hours. Well, big deal. I got a cast member ID. I can get into Walt Disney World and any of the parks any day I want. I don't need a special holiday pass to do that. So you're going during just normal hours, normal operating hours. So there's tons of guests. It's not necessarily, special just cast members anymore after hours. You can go to any park, which was nice that you could go to any park you wanted, but it just wasn't the same anymore. In the setting, if you want your cookie or your ornament or something, you got to go behind the scenes and go hang out, and there's a lounge off stage, which wasn't set up particularly festive. Certainly not more festive than it was when it was, say, out in Liberty Square, and it's outside in the atmosphere with all the stuff going on. Go into a lounge behind the scenes backstage, it wasn't that exciting. They did give you a coupon for half off of a restaurant. So the following year, 1992, we we ate at Mexico. We had not eaten there before, so let's do Mexico. Like the atmosphere, it's dark and you got the boats floating by, and that would be kind of fun to go eat there. So it was cool that we got to do that, and it was nice to get half off instead of the usual cast discount, which was much less than that. But still, it's during the day. It's just during regular hours, and it wasn't that interesting or special. It's like just going to the park on a day off, and which we could do any time of year. It was a big change, and the following years after that, I became less interested in even going at all. It's just I could go any time of year and see most of this stuff. Basically, all you'd be going in is to get free cookies. Well, I can go to Gooding's down the street and get a couple of cookies. I'll have to pay for them, but I don't have to trek all the way backstage behind a pavilion to get them. And it just wasn't the same. So I lost interest. And basically what became of that stuff, how this stuff ended up trending was no more Cast Christmas Party, but that was kind of when the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas came to be. And I think basically the Cast Christmas Party ended because they sort of moved towards, we can open up these weekend evenings instead of opening for the cast members for a party. We could do a party for the guests. And of course, that means charging for separate admission for a party. So, I mean, if you're a business, if you're on the Disney board and you're saying, how do we increase revenue? You have separate ticketed events to have a party and get a lot of extra money in coming from guests, and make that a special ticketed event. Totally get that. There's no way you can avoid the Disney money-making steam train. It's coming, and it's going to steamroll right past anything they're not making money on. DVC, they don't make more DVC because it's magical. They make it because it makes a lot of money and increases revenues. That doesn't mean you can't have magic, but that is a driving force. So ultimately, I don't even work there anymore, and I'm still a little bit bitter about the Christmas parties that basically transcended, and they didn't immediately follow the end of the Cast Christmas Party, but in my mind, the Cast Christmas Party ended so that they could start the basis of what became the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And a lot of people go to that, a lot of people love it. I've been to them, they're a lot of fun. But it saddens me a little bit that the cast Christmas parties that we used to have, that people don't get to experience those anymore. Cast members who are there now, and if you are a cast member there now, they were awesome. They really were awesome. Whatever's awesome now, those were really awesome. I loved the cast Christmas parties. I'm glad I got to go to a couple of those before they pulled the plug on them. So that was probably the most awesome thing about working around Christmas time at Disney. As far as other holiday stuff, I have mentioned in the past working New Year's Eve. Really didn't like working New Year's Eve at all. Ugh. They always gave out the horns, those noise-making horns, and people just blew those all night long. They're fun for the first 5 minutes, but imagine 10 hours of those horns blowing nonstop. And yeah, I learned pretty quickly, do not work New Year's Eve except when I worked at the resort and did that overtime shift for valet. Working valet on New Year's Eve, very lucrative, very fun. A lot of fun interacting with the guests who are coming in and out, and a lot of fun driving some pretty cool, expensive sports cars. That was a lot of fun. I'm not even a gearhead, but I loved driving around whatever fancy cars people showed up in. I did have the opportunity to do a little crowd control during the parades on a couple of Christmases, or Christmas, at least the week between Christmas and New Year's, when it was just absolutely peaking in crowds. And they often would have some people from other departments in the area coming to help work crowd control for the parade. Typically would end up in the hub, like the walkway over to Tomorrowland, or right in the hub in front of the castle, things like that. They just, here's a wand, keep everybody off of the trash cans and things like that. So I would do that periodically, and you didn't have to change costumes for that. That was real simple. You just leave Monorail as you go into the park, work crowd control for a bit, and go back out and work monorails, especially if you were working monorails for the afternoon, evening. As soon as you finish crowd control inside the park, you would immediately head to the Magic Kingdom station, because now it's the parade exit. Crowd control can be very thankless. There are sure to be magical moments to be had if you have time, and if it's not as crazy as it can be. But working crowd control is a thankless task often. You end up trying to badger people, trying to get people to pay attention, to listen. Don't stand on the trash cans. Don't stand on top of the fence. Don't throw things at other people. Don't get in other people's way. So, you know, it's just constantly trying to enforce the rules. And a lot of people don't listen, don't want to listen to the rules. You're trying to enforce something. A lot of times, if people complain, they won't back you up. So it's a challenging thing to do, especially day after day after day. A lot of times you see people on social media and they'll go, oh, I would never yell at guests. Well, when you've worked 60 hours in 6 straight 10-hour days, yeah, it's not the same as sitting at home and saying I would never be upset at somebody. You know, everybody's human, and sometimes the craziness, the insanity just wears thin on you. Not saying it's okay to yell at people. Not saying it was okay for people to be mean. People should not, and this goes for cast members and guests. But sometimes, especially during the holidays, it gets really busy. You worked a ton of hours. Maybe you're working a double shift, and sometimes the amount of stress and just the stuff going on just ends up being too much, and people sometimes just let the frustration slip. It's a lot of fun to be at Walt Disney World or in the area for the Christmas holidays and see all the decorations. The logistics of the decorations that go up so fast and then come down so fast at the end of the season. If you've been there, you obviously know it's really cool to be walking down Main Street and see all the decorations, hear the music, and it just really puts you in the spirit. Sometimes it could be a little bit challenging working during some of that, but it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a very cool experience. I'm very glad I had the opportunity to do it. Between the airlines and Walt Disney World, I ended up working every Christmas, or most Christmases, for nearly 20 years. Maybe it was more like 18 or so, but almost every Christmas. Maybe 1 or 2 that I had off in that time. Otherwise, for almost 18 years, I was working every day on Christmas. In the last few years, we've gone back to Disney and Universal around Christmas time, and we've had a great time. Usually go like 10 days or so before. Try really hard to avoid getting within a week of Christmas, because it just gets really crowded, and usually got a lot of stuff to do at home. So that's what it was like working at Disney World. It was very chaotic, but a lot of fun. Really, really loved the cast Christmas parties. Those were so much fun. I miss those. I wish I had video or photos of those evenings, because they were really, really great. I hope you enjoyed this holiday Christmas edition of Monorail Monday. Monorail Monday will return. I don't have an exact date. It'll probably be like maybe the second Monday, or maybe the first Monday. I think New Year's Eve is the 31st. That's a Monday, so the following week, 7th, that would be a good day for Monorail Monday to return. I hope everybody has a great Christmas. Enjoy, spend time with your friends, your family. Just be good to each other, have a good time, enjoy the moment. And remember, kids, have a good time all the time.